sits in the White House who wants to build a wall, ban Muslims, and suppress voting. America used to be a beacon of light and hope. Now the only light coming from the darkness is the glow of the president's phone with every ugly tweet. And keep in mind, sitting right next to the president, his senior advisor, is a man who embraces white supremacists. And over at the Department of Justice, the Attorney General of the United States is a man who was too racist to be confirmed as a federal judge in the 1980s. And I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say that Jeff Sessions did not suddenly become a civil rights advocate in January of 2017. You think? You think? Maybe? Okay, we know what we are up against, and we know why we fight. When we stand up for fairness, when we struggle for equality, when we demand justice, we know we are fighting a righteous fight. This fight is a righteous fight. Can I have an amen on that? Amen. Now, I'm here today because I believe in the power of an open door. I am the daughter of a janitor who became a Harvard professor and a United States senator. I know firsthand the power of an open door. But I also know doors don't open on their own. The thin chance I got was more chances than a lot of other kids got. My parents struggled to put food on the table and to try to keep a roof over our heads. But there were millions of other parents who worked just as hard and struggled just as much, but ran into the brick wall of segregation and doors that were bolted shut. A lot of people fought and died to open those doors for the next generation of children. And now, instead of opening more doors, this White House is determined to close them. Instead of breaking down barriers, this White House is building walls. Instead of giving everyone a seat at the table, this White House is a lockdown good old boys network. For years, Washington has talked about an axis of evil overseas. Well, there is an axis of evil here at home: oppression, suppression, and repression. And you know, if I hadn't been listening to the Reverend Jackson with admiration for so many years, I never would have tried that rhyme. So, you like that one? Good. Oppression, suppression, and repression. Keep that one in mind. Now, America is richer than ever before, but in the midst of plenty, more people have been left behind than ever before. Rising employment, that is great, but it mattered a lot more when employers offered full-time work and when full-time work meant making enough money to support a family. Rising home prices, great, but that mattered a lot more before millions of families lost their homes and before Wall Street deliberately targeted African American and Latino families with exploding mortgages. More kids going to college, great, but that mattered a lot more when kids could get a degree without getting crushed by student loan debt. Yeah. And rising stock prices, that's great, but it mattered a lot more when economic growth was more widely shared. Now, it all goes to the super rich. You know, there's plenty of wealth in this country, while millions of hard-working families are barely hanging on by their fingernails. Poverty is swallowing up cities and small towns alike. Infrastructure is crumbling. Good union jobs are drying up. Yes, The system is rigged. It is rigged for the rich and against everyone else, and that is why we are here. We are here to fight back.